Hello, good evening, and welcome to the FB4 podcast for this Sunday evening. This is the LFC Daytrippers. I am Gav, that's Kev, that's Keith, and that is Davo. Liverpool beat West Ham 1-0 yesterday. Manchester United are fucking appalling. And we'll talk about the top four and the bottom three tonight as well. The lads covered it brilliantly in the post-match game, the full-time Red yesterday. Keith, Kev, and Matt making a big return last night. But we'll go over it a little bit tonight. As I said, we'll talk about a big week we have ahead for Liverpool again. They all seem big at this stage. We'll talk about BetMate, we'll talk about Féileacáin, and anything else in between. If you're watching, hit the like button, subscribe, share. Most of all, throw your comments in there and we'll read as many as we can. Davo, you're standing in for Shawnee tonight, and I'm delighted because that game yesterday suited you down to the ground the way you watch football games.
Yeah, absolutely. Jesus Christ almighty. That was the definition of a game where I was behind the couch, I can tell you that anyway. Yeah. Jesus, I thought
Pot's well and truly gone.
Yeah, no, Pots were in the front garden. Absolutely in the front garden. Ian Brown was cycling through me fucking sitting room. But it was the definition of a scuttery win. But look, listen, if we are to get there, or we are to push City as close as we can, there's going to be a couple more of them. We think it's a result of performance at this time of the season now.
It really is, and like over the last while, we've been used to Liverpool going out on 2, 3, 4, 5 goal, whatever it might be, and you have to give credit to West Ham. They played really well, they defended well, they attacked us, and we talk about some of the chances that they got because I think that's the biggest takeaway out of the whole game for me. But Keith, we are going to get games like this. Like, it's not going to be a case of us and City just bashing people every week and see who comes out on top. There is going to be, like City got one at Everton, there is going to be games like that where you just have to, knuckle down and grind through it and get the win and get out of there.
Exactly, and City had one against Everton, but they were lucky enough to have United today, so bumped up their goal difference a bit. But there's going to be swings and to and fro in this league from now on in. Well, the most important thing is the 3 points. I suppose we do have to be conscious of the goal difference situation because we can look to win every game, but that may not be enough because if it comes down to goal difference. So West Ham was always going to be a tricky one, I think. They're in good form, they're a good team. They're not the West Ham that we're used to. And it was just good to get over the line. There's going to be many, many games like that that we've had where, I know Davo watches the games and his nerves do be gone to shy. And when you look at it, I suppose, in real time, you look back at it, it's probably not as daunting as you probably thought in the moment. But look, West Ham causes a few problems. It's another case of, getting caught offside an awful lot as well. They got through the high line, in fairness to them, a couple of times. But it's onwards and upwards, and it's the most important thing is getting them 3 points on the board. And look, people were saying of the games coming up in the last few, we had the League Cup final, we had the FA Cup, and then we had yesterday. And everyone was saying the most important is the West Ham game. We got through it. We got through in the FA Cup. We won the League Cup. We now look at Inter Milan during the week, and it's just marking them all off. It has that feel of a proper run. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just chalking them all off as we go along. It's a cliche, but every game's a cup final at this stage, and we just have to dig in when we need to.
Shockley declares, says Davo's mug is bigger than the Carabao Cup. I reckon it's a fucking Sports Direct one. He's just painted over.
No, it's actually not a Sports Direct one. It's decent size though. It's not Sports Direct.
Where did you get it?
Gav, don't be asking me that. I don't know where she got it from. I don't know where
Would you not go off and ask her and come back and tell us?
No.
Update on Twitter tomorrow.
Yeah, listen, Kev.
Yeah, mate.
It's not the most fluent display. It's not the most solid display defensively at times. But is there a case where you go, you know what? If we were flying, and which we are, and we came to that game yesterday and we didn't grind it out, you go, you know what? That's what we're missing. We're not able to grind it. We just aren't able to grind it. Does this give you even more confidence going into the last, 11 league games of the season, where you go, we're actually winning them all different ways now. We actually are. Like, it's there in front of you.
Yeah, look, for all of the doom and gloom around yesterday's win, we made it hard for ourselves. We had enough chances to bury that game in that first half. We rode our luck at times with the line, but I thought Slaven Bilic, if you guys haven't seen it,
It's a brilliant video.
The video that's going around social media, Slaven Bilic, in his description about how we play in our fullbacks. You're gonna get games where sides can exploit it, and good sides will try, and sometimes it'll work. But before we come on tonight, I just had a quick gander at the I think it was the 1920 season, where played 38, won 32, lost 3, scored 85, conceded 33, and we had 15 clean sheets. All right.
Mm-hmm.
This season so far, we're in 27 games played, won 19, lost 2, scored 71, conceded 20, and we're on 15 clean sheets.
Yeah.
That gives me confidence. The 15 clean sheets at this stage of the season is what gives me confidence going into the rest of the season that we can do the ugly stuff, and they've got the composure to not panic. It would have been easy to panic against West Ham and start lumping balls into corner flags and lumping out for throws and inviting pressure on yourself. Klopp could have made the changes to bring on an extra centre-back and go off a back five for the last 5 minutes. He didn't. You know, there was a lot of things that could have happened that might have looked on paper to make our life a lot easier. But he just made the right changes at the right time with the right players, and the players just moved forward. And that's what gives me confidence. The fact, like you said, we can win ugly, we can batter sides if you give us chances, but we can grind it as well. And look, the games are going to come thick and fast. We're going to pick up injuries and knocks, but the players that come in and out of the side know the system inside out now. And the vast majority of them are playing with it. Some of them are playing within themselves, but the majority are playing at a really high level now. And they're all fine-tuned as well. So
Hannah Kingsbury says, so far this season we've played 43 games, we've won 34, drawn 7 and lost 2. Awesome, Liverpool. But that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, we were only saying last week.
Kev makes a good point, Gav, I think, about the league winning season. I'm nearly sure I've done it in a pod before. I think we won 13 games that season by 1 goal. The season we won the league. So, and listen, we play slightly different. I don't think at that time we were playing as high a line as we are now. But I think it just shows that with this group of players, the management, everybody, we have proven over a long period of time are well able to grind it out. Obviously, listen, you don't want to be giving up as many chances as you did yesterday, but listen, like I said there, I'm nearly sure, I think I did it on a pod before, on a forum, I think we won 13 games by 1 goal here, we won the league. Something mad like that. So I think we've, like, listen, you need them every bit, as Chris Brack had earlier on. They do more for you than a 6-0 win.
Yeah, like Shockley says, our fixtures are harder and there are a couple of 12-20 kickoffs, which I hate. Yeah, look, the kickoffs are going to be all over the place because Liverpool will be on the telly every single week from here on out, because it's them and City in a title race. We'll talk about top 4 in a bit because I think Chelsea might get dragged into something here. But
well, the bonus for the half 12 kickoffs, I'm not a fan of them either, but it means you're playing before City.
Yeah.
So this gives you a chance to put the pressure back down.
Yeah. The way I look at it is, you know, I did get a bit annoyed yesterday, right, at the game. I'll admit it. And I was kind of saying to myself, I think it was you, Davo, said, like, we look tired after the 70, 75, right? And then I thought, and that kind of triggered me because I went, where the fuck are we tired? None of them, hardly any played during the week. And then I thought to myself, well, hold on. I always keep going back to the rhythm stuff. And I understand that players can play Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, or Sunday, whatever it might be. No matter how good they are, the intensity of which we play at and what's riding on the games as well is a massive factor. You have to give them a break somewhere. And I think it showed a little bit yesterday. I don't know how close to 100% Liverpool were at yesterday in all aspects of that game. But when I looked at it and I thought back, I went, yeah, okay, let's take it that they weren't. But they still won the game. They still won the game, and that's what sets them aside, along with City for me, from the rest. Whereas the rest will come out and look a bit off it, and after 75, did he look a bit lethargic? Is it not happening? And they'll concede. And they'll go from being 1-0 up or 2-0 up and getting a draw or even getting beaten. And Liverpool don't. Liverpool win the game. Keith, we were wasteful yesterday for me. You know, Salah, someone said there earlier, I had it up on the screen, Salah should have scored after he goes through after 2 minutes. He should.
Yeah.
I think it's a poor finish. I don't know what he's doing, hitting straight.
It's a dreadful finish.
Yeah. There's a couple of scrambles in the West Ham box, you know. We have got good.
Trent's free kick is very, very close. It's brilliant. I love that one where the keeper thinks you're going over the wall, he whips it back in. I love that.
Yeah,
and
there was plenty.
I don't think that got enough attention.
We had a scramble in the box as well late on.
Yeah, there was plenty in it, and I thought we were a bit wasteful. West Ham, I will say, I have to give West Ham credit. They defended quite well for most of it. But is there any concern for you, Keith, on the wastefulness? Is there any concern in the fact that, you know, West Ham clearly get through in the first half? Like, and to be honest with you, what he's doing dinking it over Alisson is beyond me. Why isn't he just smashing it past him? But in fairness, we get back, we get tackles and blocks in. And, you know, Antonio has a couple of sighters. Kate that makes a great tackle on Antonio in the box late enough on. Is any concern for you, Keith? Or is it just like Keith or Kev has mentioned with Slaven Bilic? When you're playing this intensity and you're playing that high, you're 100% taking chances at the other end. And that's just, you're going to have to, you know, weigh one up against the other. You know, swings and roundabouts, Keith. That's the way it is. Yeah,
I mean, it's risk versus reward the way we play that high line. West Ham got through a couple of times. Not many are getting through. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not conceding goals, and that's the key to the whole thing. You know, look, Salah should score in the first minute. I think that's worse missed than what Lanzini does for West Ham, which everyone's talking about. The big chance of the game being Lanzini hitting one over. No one's talking about Mo Salah going clean through and just not not scoring. You expect them to do it. We had our chances, they had their chances, but yeah, you have to look at it and say, when you play with that intensity, it is, you know, there's going to be chances, and you just have to make sure that you're on the right end of them. So Salah doesn't take his opportunity yesterday. Mane, who I thought was poor up until his goal as well, does a very instinctive finish for the goal. And West Ham, well, they went through. They didn't have any ruthlessness. Like the one that goes through where Lanzini, is it Lanzini or Fornals when he goes through and tries to chip Alisson?
That was Fornals, I think.
There was just no conviction in it. Do you know what I mean? So when teams are even getting,
I think he was trying to be too cute, because Alisson is so big that you don't know if you can put it past them either side. So he tries to be cute, but doesn't put enough on it.
But I don't know if he's thinking, am I offside here? I don't know if it's in forward players' heads now.
He's not offside. Not the one.
No, but is he think? But what I'm saying is he thinking that he's offside? You know, when you're getting through, are players thinking, well, I'm offside here, and he tries a fucking chip, and it's like, no, he's on. Do you know, like, I don't know if it's in his head now, but look, I just think Liverpool are going to concede chances like that. And you'll see certain journalists are saying, you know, they're giving up a lot of chances. They're still talking about chances that are offside, that are late flags, as being chances against us. They're not. Liverpool are playing this line. Absolutely. I mean, it's as good to me as the Arsenal offside trap from when we were all younger, when you had the famous Arsenal back four that just put their hand up together and that was getting called. It's probably the most effective since then. Like, but we're doing it 20 yards further up the pitch. It's outrageous how good they are. And the fact that West Ham broke through, you know, 9 times out of 10, nobody's getting through that. But we have to just take our chances. If Salah scores that after 2 minutes, I think we run in a cricket score against West Ham. That's no disrespect to them. It just takes the wind out of our sails, but he doesn't, and it gives them an opportunity. But then we do get the breakthrough. We don't build on it. But yesterday, what the problem I felt we had was we've got front three that were on there yesterday. I thought Mane had a poor game. I thought Salah had a terrible game. And I thought Diaz had a great game, but Diaz hasn't got the goals yet. So we didn't look like we were probably going to break down more than what we did. You know, it was maybe, you know, if Jota is in form and he's playing, you think, right, he has a goal in him, whereas Diaz hasn't yet. But I thought, other than that, I thought air defence was brilliant yesterday. Do you know what I mean? People are praising West Ham. for the great effort at the back. West Ham's defence was very good. I thought Liverpool, player for player, were brilliant at the back yesterday. I thought the midfield was brilliant.
West Ham clearly seen that he couldn't match what Liverpool were doing and did drop on about 60, just dropped right in and went, listen, we're absolutely purely playing this on the counter. Mem creates a Slaven Village put it best when he said West Ham created a lot, but it was only the Lanzini chance. What a miss. The rest was defended well by us, and pundits forgot that, so fuck everyone. We won. Dan Bailey says, God, we don't know he wasn't offside for that chance. He's not offside what I can see.
No, he's not offside.
It didn't look offside at all, but I seen a lot of people saying it was offside.
Well, on force viewing, I was waiting for the flag to go up, and it didn't, right? And that's fine. But when they show Trent going fucking apeshit at the Lions, man, they show the replay, and I think Trent and one other player is playing him on.
Yeah,
I actually think he's being played on by two players. Yeah. And I know he doesn't score, and I know the linesman doesn't put a flag up, but I don't know, maybe because it plays out and it goes for a corner, they just continue on. VAR doesn't do it. But for me, I thought he was definitely onside. But you're going to get these things. There's no way you're going into a game and you're going to play that high line and you're going to have those fullbacks up, like Bilic has referenced, right? There's no way you're going to play that game and create so much and be on top and not give away something at the other end. It's just not possible. Especially when you have the likes of Bowen, Antonio, Fornells, Lanzini, whoever it is running from deep. You're just not going to stop 100% the chances. We're living on the edge a little bit, and it actually suits us. Sorry, Davo, what did you want to say?
No, well, it just look on the high line thing. I can't remember which point that was after the Carling Cup or the Carabao final. Like us catching them offside late, particularly the Havertz one that was an extra time, wasn't it? And obviously the Lukaku one. To be keeping that high line, and I think it might have been Carragher that said it. To keep that high line, he says, when you have tired legs, tired minds, extra time against a very good side. He was actually praising us, going, that's absolutely unbelievable. And we says, like that goes under the radar a bit, like how well drilled we are. And I know what Keith was talking about. Miguel Delaney was on a bit on Twitter earlier saying we seem to be giving up a lot of chances over the last few games. And I actually saying a fella, Alan Breen, his name was, kind of just saying, listen, this is like the Rafa zonal marketing. Like, Rafa used to be able to come out and say, listen, more goals are conceded, man-to-man marking than zonal. We're doing zonal. If you want to blame someone, blame me. And it used to be the stick that Rafa got hit with. Now this seems to be the team that's gone on to Klopp. We're playing a high line. We catch everyone. We've the most offsides than any team in the league. But obviously, a few times. And boy, West Ham are a decent side. Yeah. Well drilled. Yeah. Antonio does his job, holds it up brilliant. They're very good at getting runners from deep. They caught us out a couple of times. Well, it's going to happen.
West Ham are the fourth highest scorers in the league this season.
I think if you look at it, if you go through the game yesterday, right, you have Fornals goes through, right, and tries to dink Alisson. You have Lanzini chance, right. You have one from Antonio, which he hits first half left foot. Alisson saves, right. Not how much of a chance you put it down to, but it's an effort.
That's a half chance,
right? Okay, it's a half chance. Yeah. Okay, you have the one where Antonio's put through. He comes inside Robertson and Katie gets in. That's a definite chance for me.
Yeah, that's just a chance.
He did us on it, but overall,
and the Bowen one that Robbo gets back to,
which is a great tackle. And Bowen, in fairness to him, he shouldn't have been concerned with Robertson. He should have been hitting that and hitting it across the keeper. I think he just slashed at it. But we're looking at two really good chances, 2 or 3 half chances in a 94, 95 minute game where we're literally playing with 2 defenders for the vast majority of it. Let's be honest about it. Well, and that's why West Ham decided to sit back, because it actually brings our fullbacks onto you more, and then they're looking for Bowen or they're looking for Antonio, and then they're looking for lads to run off them. I thought Bowen going off was very unfortunate for them because he is a great outlet for them. But overall, how many, if you, like I've seen there, Jennings going, or someone said there in the chat, Jennings was going on about 2 chances that they were given. We gave up a couple of weeks ago when they were both offside, and he was having a go at the high line. And Miguel Delaney is saying they're giving up an awful lot of chances. But are they? Because the thing is, right, how many chances are Man City giving up? How many chances are United with a deeper line giving up? Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea. How many chances are these teams giving up? It seems to be because we're ridiculously brave in what we do. It's like, if you're going to be ridiculously brave, we're not going to give you any leeway on this and defending. You should be defending as well. And to be honest with you, what West Ham tried to do yesterday was exactly what Spurs done to Man City 2-3 weeks ago, or whatever it was, right? And nobody's given me a fucking list of many chances Man City have given up. You know what I mean? I don't think Liverpool have given up any more chances than anybody else. Am I right?
They're running out of 6 to beat us with. That's it. They can't attack the amount of goals that we're scoring because we're scoring at will. Last season it was the injuries. They're moaning about that. This season it's the high line because it's different. It's not how the players who are now pundits know how to play the game. It's not how they did it. It's different. It's new, and nobody likes new. New is wrong. I mean, I guarantee you, in 5 years' time, this is how football is going to be played. You know, and you're going to have condensed games between the thirds where you're going to have 22 players trying to make the pitch as small as possible. And you're going to need to be lightning quick to be a defender in the next 5 years. Otherwise, you're going to be a dinosaur. You're going to be left behind. Klopp and Guardiola have redefined what football is and how winning football is played. And we're just ahead of the curve. And the first one through the door always gets bloody. You know, so and that's all it is with Klopp. Klopp is going to get pelters because he's trying something different. The analytics, the throwing coach, the talking about the 5 sub rule. Now it's a high line. Anytime anyone challenges or tries to change the game or do something different from the norm is going to get the stick when it doesn't quite go perfectly. And that's all this is.
The Hand of Quad says we think we've conceded 3 goals in the last 9 games. Not bad for a team giving up a load of chances away.
But the Burnley game, Gav, a few weeks ago, I was watching it. It was one of them just when there's probably a lull in the crowd or whatever, and you could hear Pep Linders. We're 1-0 up at the time. It's pissing, Ryan. They're launching fucking balls forward. They'd got in a few times. Well, they'd got in a few times enough to get the pundits excited. They were all offside in the game. But Linders, you could hear Linders roaring, higher, higher, higher. He's roaring at the back 4 to get higher. Now, it's pissing, Ryan. We're 1-0 up. A fucking game, a sticky game. We're trying to close the gap on City, and the assistant manager part of the coaching team want the back 4 where. So it's not going to change.
No.
It's not going
but that's the key. You have to be brave, don't you, when you do that? Like you'll hear a lot of pundits. Kev is right. Nobody likes new, and even the likes of Carragher and all. You hear them. Sometimes you have to drop back and you have to play the game that's in front of you. That's a sign of weakness. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're right, Pep Linders will be there. They know what they're doing. Get the fucking line up as high as they can get it. Play to the strength because they know VAR will catch teams offside even if they go through. And that's why it's all risk against reward. Like, teams will have to be really good. And West Ham, in fairness to them, do have them deep runners that can do that bit of damage. But not everybody will do that. You know, not many teams will. It'll be all... When you see the free kicks, if a team gets a free kick, let's say 5 yards inside our half, our line's right up on top of them. They don't know what to do with the fucking free kick because our line is so far up. They're like, well, what the fuck are we going to do? As soon as this gets hit in, these are all offside. So teams are cabbage. They don't know what they're going to do. And it's just brilliant to see. But you see so many ex-players that are not used to that. And they think, no, you just drop back 5 yards. If you drop back 5 yards, the whole house of cards falls down.
I'd argue if our line dropped 10 yards, okay? I'd argue that we would give up more chances simply because the midfield wouldn't be asked to be as intense. I think it would actually give more time to the opposition. And it also means that contact with the ball in challenges or whatever, or tussles or duels or whatever the fuck you want to call it, happens closer to our goal, which means there's a higher chance of something going wrong and they're in on goal. And now people will say to you, well, they're in on goal if the high line. Yeah, but if they run 40 fucking yards, right? Yeah. And you've got Virgil van Dijk, right, who's turning on the boners to get you. You've got Kanate doing the same, and you've this cunt in goal, right, that just comes out and goes, right, I'm putting my arms out, and there's no goal left for you to shoot at. I'd actually argue if we sat back and went, right, let's drop it 10 yards. I think we give up more chances. Because you've seen, or I think I've seen, when Liverpool have conceded goals in games where they've lost control, right? And me and Shawnee were talking about a couple of weeks ago where game management, right? I don't think game management, it can be an issue at times, but I think it's down to where intensity and where we set ourselves, right? And when we set ourselves too deep, okay, it means our midfield drops off. And when our midfield drops off, they feel like they're protecting more than going out and hunting. And that's where I think it comes from, where Pep Linders is going, get up the fucking pitch, because if you get up, them three in the midfield are going up, and then forwards have to move because you all can't stand together, which means we're going to park our front men on the edge of your box, regardless of who has it. We're going to park your men there. And the other thing is, if we done that, right, you can be fucking guaranteed, right, as fucking night follows day, right, that you would have pundits, or so-called fucking pundits, coming out and saying they're wasting Andy Robertson and they're wasting Trent Alexander-Arnold. Sure, how are they meant to affect the game when they're fucking 70 yards from the opposition's goal? So we push them up and we play to our strengths, and we push our fullbacks up 30 yards from the opposition's goal, and all of a sudden they're giving up a load of chances. I think Kev's right. I think when it comes down to it, they're just trying to find something, right? And you know what it is? It's like dying on a hill, because if Liverpool don't win this league title, you can be fucking guaranteed at the end of the season to go, but you remember the high line? Do you remember the chances they were giving up? It's actually fucking weird.
But it's a great point, yeah, because last season when we had Reece Williams and Nat Phillips at centre-back, or Kabak, or whoever it was, the fullbacks were so deep, they couldn't create, they couldn't impact, because we had to sit back and play.
The forwards were isolated.
And and that's why we couldn't break down anything, you know what I mean?
And opposition teams are getting the ball. And opposition teams are getting the ball closer to your goal, the deeper you are. But it's not the high line. When the high line goes wrong, the issue isn't the high line. And Klopp alluded to yesterday.
It's the pressure on the ball.
Pressure on the ball.
Of course,
if you don't have pressure on the ball, you're fucked when you play a high line.
Yeah.
So it's not the high line. It's the issue. It's the pressure on the ball, and that was really evident last year in Madrid. When we were horrendous. Naby was running around like he'd only one leg. He got hauled after half an hour or whatever. He was that bad because we couldn't. He's leaving Tony Kroos to ping balls in over the top to Vinicius or whoever it was. No pressure on the ball with a high line. Forget about it. So it's all kind of predicated on that pressure on the ball.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And look, you absolutely play to your strengths. And I don't know what way you would send Liverpool out to play a game, right, where it doesn't look the way we're playing. I don't know what you do.
Remember years ago, you'd have sides would go out, especially in Europe, and you'd find it a lot. All we need is a draw. We play for the draw.
Mm-hmm.
We can't. I don't think this side is capable of that, and that's not a fault. That's just I don't think that mentality.
Well, Klopp has said it. Klopp says he goes to get results wherever he goes.
We're just not built that way, and we'll see it on Tuesday night when we're playing Inter, because 2-0 up, we're comfortable, but I don't see us sitting back and sitting in and letting Inter have the game and bring the game onto us, and we'll just hit them on the break. It's just not good. It breeds bad habits for anything else, but we can't do it. You know, we just can't do it, and it's great to see for fans, because you're always going to watch Liverpool and know that you're going to have a game where, for the vast majority of games we play in every season, you've got to dominate the ball, you've got to create chances, and you're going to score goals.
For me, and I don't know if you agree, and I don't know if people in the chat agree, but I'll take this Liverpool side playing like this all the time, and I won't hold it against them.
Absolutely.
I won't hold it against them if somebody goes through on the last day of the season and nicks a goal and we don't win a league title. I'm not going to turn and go, the fucking high line cost us the title.
See, we told you all along.
What I mean? But I'll take them exactly as they are, because I love watching them. And I know Davo was behind the sofa in an absolute jocker yesterday. But I said it last week. There's 12 league games left, and I can't fucking wait for them all. Bring them all on. One day after the next, I watch them, because I've watched enough shit from Liverpool over the last 30 years or 35 years, and I'll take this every day of the week. Anthony McConville asked the question here, and I kept it. She asked earlier, but I kept it. What about VVD? Unbeaten in 60 games at Anfield. The last time he was beaten at Anfield, he was a Southampton player.
Outrageous.
It's Keith. It's just fucking madness, isn't it?
It's fucking ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? Like, Michael Owen and Slaven Bilic were talking after the game, and Michael Owen said he can't think of a better centre back probably ever than Virgil van Dijk. And it can seem like hyperbole when you say things like that you're just reacting to a good performance. I was thinking about it, and like, I don't think there's many better than him, because I don't see the flaw. I don't know where the flaw is. Every good defender has a flaw. Like Vidic had flaws, Ferdinand had flaws, Terry had flaws. I don't know where the flaw is with Van Dijk. Even now, he's coming back from injury. The flaw was that he'd done the fucking ACL in. And even now, that's starting to look not really a flaw, is it? You know, there's something about him. He breeds confidence. And we seen today in the Manchester derby, when you have a centre-back that is just error-prone in every single game, the impact that can have on your team. We have a centre-back who hasn't lost a home game in 60. You know, has never lost a home game in, 3.5 years? Yeah, it's about that. Is it 3 years?
It's January 2018 he was.
Yeah. So I mean, let's be
4
honest.
years.
Like 4 years,
years.
he misses a year through injury. But look, this fella is ridiculous. Like he's fucking ridiculous. And we're lucky to have him. I think he's peaking again at the right time, which is perfect for us. You know, it's to get him in there. It doesn't matter who's beside him, whether it's Matip, whether it's Kanate, whether it's Joe Gomez, if he gets a chance. Once you have Virgil playing, he's our most important player. I think Sean, you said it a while ago. It might have been last week only, right? That if you lose Salah, you're confident that we'll get goals. Van Dijk is so important. What he's done to the team, I think, is not a bigger impact than Salah, but it's made us the team that we are, because you can score goals, but if you're not keeping them out at the other end, it's not worth a shot. Do you know what I mean? It's exciting and all that, but Van Dijk has come in and he took a defence that was shy and made it elite, and he done it himself. And he's continued and he's grown and he's got better. Like 60 games, we've only lost 6, and that was when last year we were just on the bleeding canvas. We were out for the 10 count. There's nothing you can do. He wasn't there. But to get him back and just to continue that run, like it's like who's the Dublin footballer that Brian Fenton, was it? And it was about 6 years before he lost the bleeding championship.
Yeah, he went through a heap of games before losing one.
Yeah, like it's absolutely ridiculous.
Jono says the Celtic scout who first saw him said his flaw was the game was too easy. I mean, what a fucking flaw to have.
No, I think I heard Neil Lennon saying when he got in the door, I think he said to his coaching staff, "Let's enjoy this fella because he's not going to be here for long."
Yeah,
and he wasn't. I think I read or heard, might have been the Totally Football Show or one down pod. I think the Gazzetta dello Sport after the game of the San Siro was all about Van Dijk.
Yeah.
It was about, because they love a defender, the Italians, and it was all about how Van Dijk, how good Van Dijk was. Basically, a full page spread on Virgil. But yeah, just like he said, he's done it himself. He's turned that back four into an elite back four himself. Didn't think he had his best game yesterday. Didn't think he was poor now, but I didn't think he had his best game yesterday now. Kanate, I thought, done well beside him, but yeah, 60 games at home unbeaten is a phenomenal record.
And to see him, how good he was, and then he gets injured at Everton, and he's gone for the season, and you're kind of going, he's a proper alpha male, isn't he? But you're thinking, even the best can be done by injuries like this, and what will it be like when he comes back? And people are talking themselves into, if he's 75%, if he's 80%, he's grand and stuff like that. And I'm kind of going, well, no, because 80% Van Dijk gives up more chances than 100% Van Dijk, and we need 100% Van Dijk in the system we play. But what we've seen, I feel, over the last 6 or 7 weeks is the Virgil van Dijk that you've seen before he went to Goodison Park that day. He's just been... There's fellas giving up against him. There's actually fellas getting the ball and going, I'm not running towards him. They just turn around and run back the other way. It's like a game of fucking chasing. Kev?
Yeah, we were saying it last night, and you decides that you could look at Mikel Antonio. Mikel Antonio is a good centre forward, and he's a decent record against us. But he's looking over before, when they're in the tunnel coming out, shit, damn, these two are big, and they're fast. They're faster than me. And the best thing that Van Dijk will do, one-on-one, he'll let the player come to him. Most centre-backs, even the best of them, will rush in or will try to force the striker to make a decision. Van Dijk won't. He'll hold his line, hold his position, and wait until the striker decides to make a decision, and then he'll react to it. He's hands down the best centre-back I've ever seen. And he's only improved year on year. The way he reads the game now is second to none. that was probably his one thing that you would worry about when he first came to the club, how he reads the game. But he's levels above anything I've ever seen.
I think he's absolutely unreal. A couple of people have made reference that I look quite red on the camera. I think I got sunburned today out playing golf. I'm not messing with you. It actually felt real warm out today.
Doesn't take much for us Irish lads.
No, there wasn't a cloud in the sky, and I actually, do you know what? I could feel it on my face when I got home. I was like, I couldn't have got sunburned. Fucking, March, but I think I did. So fuck you, I'll be brown in a couple of days, right? You just won't be laughing then. So look, it's ridiculous, the whole Van Dijk stuff, and fingers crossed he stays fit, and Matip stays fit. I know I think it was an illness with Matip. Konaté's come in and grow. He's grown all the time into that side, and Joe Gomez still has to come back as well, which I think people are forgetting about him, but I wouldn't, because I think he might still have a part to play in this season, especially as the games will continue to come thick and fast between now and the end of the season.
No disrespect to Joe Gomez, but I hope we don't see too much of him, because if we see too much of Joe Gomez, I think it's because we've lost Matip or Konaté. And sentimental, Joe Gomez has been a great player for us, but he is number 4 in that pecking order, and I just hope that we see him getting the odd game at right full, maybe, or the odd game coming in, and next season let his fitness build up and have an attack at it. But these 3 that we have at the moment, whichever combination it is, I don't give a shit, because the qualities they have, they're right about Konaté. I watched Konaté a couple of years ago, and I thought this fella looks bleeding great. And Upamecano got all the praise and all the credit. He looks a bit bleeding dodgy still. Even at Bayern Munich, he looks dodgy. And I'm just glad we got this. Now, maybe the player goes to a different situation. If Upamecano comes to Liverpool and he's playing behind Matip and Ting, maybe it's good. But he looks like we dodged the bullet and done well there. What's Davo getting a bit of the wallpaper?
Someone's trying to work out if Davo's wallpaper is attached to the wall. It could be just a roll of wallpaper just hanging.
That's all shells, baby. That's not wallpaper.
Is it?
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Geometry, good geometrical.
Keith, listen, Keith, we talked about Upamecano a good bit in the group, and like a lot of us flagged it. Listen, we get loads of shit wrong. Fucking, we haven't got a clue half the time, but a good few of us who would watch Leipzig a good bit, because we were linked with Konaté a fair bit, and a little bit with Upamecano.
Timo Werner as well.
Watched them. I got on Werner. That Upamecano fella, I think is garbage.
You have said it, and Keith's been very big on it for ages. Going, listen, signed you that fella, because this Upamecano
we got the right one. We got the right one of the two. Absolutely.
Upamecano has Dortmund or Leipzig again written all over him in about 18 months' time. That's what I think he has written all over him. But look, we'll have to wait and see. Look, the game is won. I want to get on to a few bits that happened around the league over the weekend. Of course, the one that affected us most was today, Man City 4, Manchester United 1. And look, a lot of people were saying, could United do this, could United do that? I said this morning, the City will win that easy. Because they have literally a dead rubber during the week against Sporting Lisbon, so they can put it wherever they want. And it doesn't make a difference. We just get it down to 3 points. We have to go and win at the Etihad. It's as simple as that. And then it's a sprint to the end, and we possibly be ahead on goal difference if we win at the Etihad. But I think there's only about 3 in it now at this stage, or 1 in it. I think after today. Keith, look, United are just fucking awful, and you know what annoyed me more about than the result today? Roy Keane on Sky Sports today, right?
Not a fan, Gavin, no.
Well, the thing is with Roy Keane, I do like him at times, but I'll tell you what annoyed me today. Roy Keane, after they beat Leeds, came out and said United have fought in their own hands, and they show this and they show that and they this, that and the other, right? And then he's come out today and he said, oh look, they're all worried about their hair and they're all looking about how they look and they're all worried. And I'm kind of going, this hasn't changed from 3 weeks ago. They went to beat a Leeds team that are absolutely on their arse, and Europe proclaimed them as favourites for top 4, and now you're coming out today and hammering them, quite rightfully so. But why do people keep falling for this, Keith? Every time they get a good result, they keep falling for it. They are fucking melogen.
They're absolutely poison. Like, I love it. It's great. Let's see more of it. I don't know how they turned the corner either, because the usual. I was looking on Twitter today, and I'm seeing a load more. Get the Glazers out, the usual shy. That's not going to happen.
I fully expect the protest to be in the works now.
Where are they going to protest? They don't have us at Old Trafford, like.
I don't know.
They can't get that game called off. They're just an absolute bunch. Their fans are all absolute fucking children, crybabies. Get what they want, the excuses. Roy Keane, you're right. They beat Leeds, and Leeds, we all know. Look, I'm a huge Marcelo Bielsa fan. They were on their bleeding arse as a team. Anyone could go in there and pick their pocket and take whatever they wanted off them. They came up against Man City today, and fair play to United. They kept the goal difference down for us because they are absolutely shy. They are woeful. Like, if you look, we spoke about Virgil van Dijk and the transformation he done to Liverpool. You look at that Manchester United defence today. Harry Maguire, 80 million. Victor Lindelof.
It's the amount of signings, Keith, that they felt would be transformative for me.
Well, everyone, Gav, they think that all
they
Aaron
think it's going to be transformative,
50 million,
and it's not.
50 million for Aaron Wan-Bissaka when the game is changing and they spend 50 million on a fullback that can't attack. The money they have plundered into that team, and you look at them now and you're like, if Spurs or Arsenal or West Ham, anyone got their shit together, these are finishing 8th. Do you know what I mean? Like, they are so bad. You've got Ronaldo. Look, don't know what he's playing at. We said it at the start. Disaster of a signing, that one. Doesn't make the team better. He gets his field and that's it. He doesn't share it about. He done it at Juventus for the years before he left. Oh yeah, but he's still scoring 20, 30 goals. Yeah, but no one else is. And the Juventus went from being the leader of a one-horse race to struggling in his last season to get Champions League. Like, they're absolute decline in teams when he's there because he doesn't work for the team. That signing was a sentimental one that he made a bollocks of. Look at Donny van de Beek. They brought him in, didn't play him. Send him out to Everton. Everton fans think he's great. I don't know. I haven't watched much of him. There's no cohesion with their signings. They don't know what they're doing. There's no plan. Liverpool make signings. Look at Luis Diaz. We went and got him because he was our top target for the summer. We seen there was an opportunity. We took him in. He's hit the ground running. Every player, Kanate, comes in, people didn't know. He looks like he's made for us. Tsimikas as a replacement looks like he's made for us. Jota looks like he's made for us. Every signing we make is right. Every single signing they make looks like a risk, and always looks like a risk that wasn't worth taking. Varane, injury prone, in and out of the team.
Exactly. Like, there's so many things there. Like, Davo, I come to you, like, I'm looking at it today and I looked at the lineup and went, Marcus Rashford with Cavani out and Ronaldo out, can't get a game at Manchester United. Marcus Rashford. Yeah. He's on 350 grand a fucking week, Marcus Rashford. And he can't get a game at Manchester United.
But I think it's just indicative of like the whole club. Like that fella's, like, I actually think Rashford is a decent player. I'll put it this way, I think if Klopp had him, we'd be all quite happy at the player kind of, Jordan kind of getting that. I think if Klopp had him, he'd have him high in confidence and all. I think that fella's confidence is through his fucking trousers. He just he's no confidence. I'll caveat, lads, I didn't see a ball being kicked. I was playing golf. I didn't see any of the Manchester derby. Just checking the result. Obviously, I believe first half they weren't too bad. I seen the goals they gave away. They were obviously fucking St. Anne's Park fucking stuff like. But like, just throughout the club, it's like I thought when they Cavani did kind of a very good job for them last year. As kind of the what would you call it? Maybe the second man off the bench. Sorry, the first man off the bench when they needed a goal.
Elder Lemon with a bit of experience.
Yeah, exactly. Elder Lemon, a bit of experience. Goal scorer, works hard, good professional. According to fucking Rangnick now, he trained the last 3 days, but then said he didn't fancy playing today. So the towel's gone in from him.
I think the towel went in. When I seen Ronaldo,
I'd say the towel is nearly in, but Ronaldo fucking.
I'll tell you what. I'd say Ronaldo seen this game coming and went. I was given the runaround at Old Trafford like a fucking idiot when they came and bet us. Was it 2-3-0? 2-1. And I'm not having that again. I think there is huge issues there, and I don't know if Rangnick is the issue or he's actually out in the issues, and they're just going to have to play out. What do you think, Kev?
This is fuck all to do with Rangnick. The rot set in at that club 2, 3, 4 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Is he churning it up now? Is he actually bringing it to the fore, and they're going to have to just go through this?
He's got absolutely no power at that club whatsoever, because the players are looking at him going, well, you're gone in the summer. You're not getting the job. So
Fred came out and said that, didn't he?
Yeah, the towel's gone in for the players. They're on huge money. You've got the likes of Phil Jones.
Van Mata was on the bench today, and I was like, what?
Yeah, I forgot he was still there.
Phil Jones is still there on 150 grand a week, refusing to go on loan. So that tells you everything about the mentality of the players. You've got Jesse Lingard running his contract down.
He got screwed over by them, in fairness.
But Pogba, look, they're trying to re-sign him again. They don't get it. They don't learn. They never will. And all of the signings are I think it was someone said in the comment section there, Jamie Redknapp made the point, the Harlem Globetrotter signings. They're stupid. There's no plan. Sancho's on 350 grand a week. Yeah, Jadon Sancho is a very good player. But Jadon Sancho, with the transfer fee that he commanded and the wages he's commanded, means that is probably one of the most expensive signings in football history. You know, especially in Premier League history. It's an absolute scandal.
He followed the money though, Kev. He made the wrong call himself. He followed the dough.
Yeah.
That wasn't the move for him at all.
You'd have thought the players looking it out from the outside in now, look at it, they're never going to put their hand in their pocket and feel their leg again. Yeah. But they'll look at the careers that Donny van de Beek should have had and isn't. They're going to look at the likes of Sancho, looking at the type of career that he should have and he's not. And he never will, not at that club. And United's biggest problem is shifting these players out. They won't want to go. Harry Maguire won't leave Manchester United. Not a chance in earth.
Pogba will walk away in the summer for nothing, and he'll get 50 million quid for signing for somebody. That's how it's going to work.
But he's not the fix. You know, the rebuild.
No, but what you're doing is what you're seeing there is people that believe that Paul Pogba was a transformative signing for Manchester United is walking out the door for free for a second time.
Yeah.
And it actually doesn't matter where Pogba goes or what money he gets paid. The reflection on Manchester United as a club is, you let this guy go for free. You've spent 89 million to bring him back. You're paying him over £1 million a month, okay, or close to £1.5 million a month, nearly, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and he's walking out the door again for free because he doesn't want to play for you.
There's probably
too hard.
They probably have about 15 players on over 150 to 200 grand a week. And in all likelihood, 8 or 9 of them should be gone. And to rebuild the squad, the fact that they're not going to get into the Champions League this year, no matter what their revenue streams are, Newcastle aren't going to be too far away in the type of players that Manchester United are going to want to do this rebuild. Newcastle will be able to pay more and offer a long-term project, whereas Manchester United is just going to be more and more years of, we'll try and get there. We'll almost get there. Even if you're a manager looking at it now, you're looking, well, the rebuild is just too big.
But that was going to be my next question. Davo, I'll ask you it. If they were to get top 4, right, and I'll ask you on in a minute, but as a manager, like, I have this thing about who Manchester United could attract as a manager. And I have this theory that there may be a lot of managers out there going, why would I go there, right, for 2 years when that Liverpool job could be up? And once you go to United, you're not getting the Liverpool job, right? There has to be managers around the world that are looking, going, if I go near Manchester United, I'm not getting Liverpool. And you see the difference in the way the two clubs are structured, the way they are on the pitch, even off the pitch. I know there's 75,000 at Old Trafford, but apparently it's fallen to fucking bits. And we just keep adding to Anfield and making it a much, much better arena to go to for everybody, right? It's going to get bigger and bigger, right? But if they don't, Davo, they end up in Europa League. Who in their right mind goes in there? Because people would argue, they're in the Europa League, it gives them a bit of time. It doesn't. They will demand that they have to win the Europa League and they have to win the league, and, they'll get a load of money to spend, and the people making the decisions around the manager will get it wrong, and then it'll be the Glazers' fault, and then it'll be the manager's fault, and we just keep doing this dance.
Yeah, look, I don't think, like your man Dave Jones mentioned after the game today, he said, do United need to take a bit of pain like Arsenal? they'd finishing 8th for a couple of years, not being in Europe and rebuilding and stuff like
But
that.
they've taken loads of pain, Davo.
Yeah. Listen.
They're 10 years without a title now, and they're
yeah,
still
10
fucking.
years, it's going on 10
chasing
years without a title. I just think when you're looking in, I don't. Ten Hag seems to be linked, right? Well, it's Ten Hag and Pochettino, right? They don't know if Pochettino is going to be either A, let out of his contract in the summer, or B, listen, he could be sacked if they go out of the Champions League. So that's kind of up in the air. Neville was kind of saying,
I'm convinced Pochettino eyes the Liverpool job and doesn't go near United.
I'd be more the other way. I'd be more the other way, Gav. I think Ten Hag is probably eyeing the Liverpool job. That would be the one I would be looking at. I think United probably swallow Ten Hag up unless they'd have to seriously shift. Like United at the minute at the back room from the top down are a fucking farce. Now, if you bring in a manager from Ajax who's used to working in a well-oiled structure,
Van der Sar,
top to bottom. Like Ajax are probably let's call it a spade. They're probably one of the best run clubs in the world.
Yeah.
Right, as regarding, I know they're a huge name, but they're not at the top table due to finances. But they're extremely well run. Now, if you bring a manager in from that into that United shit show, I think he will get swallowed up. So I think United need to be. I think they need to be very careful. I hope they get it wrong, because I don't give a fuck. I hope they get it wrong. I think you were spot on, Gav. There's going to be managers out there looking around, going, "Listen, is Klopp staying?" I'm sure through back channels and through, listen, if this gets out, your fella's not going to get the job. I'd say people know whether Klopp is staying or going. I would say in the back channels in football, he might stay. Oh, look, the word is he's going to stay for another year.
I'd agree with you. I think
he's going to go. I think the people, the powers that be, the people that need to know throughout world football. I'm talking about the agents, the people that make things happen. I think they know what's going to happen with Liverpool in a couple of years' time, whether he's staying or going. Is he going to stay for one more year, make it three seasons after this one instead of 2? I don't know. So I'd say managers, like you said, will be looking, kind of going, right, listen, what can I do now for the next couple of years? Puts me in a shop window. Yeah. Because that's the job I want.
Because, like, let's be honest, if a player is signing for Liverpool, they're going to ask, who are you looking to sign? If I come in here, who are you looking to sign? Will the manager be here? They ask all these questions. Managers are no different. Managers are like, I'll put it this way. And I agree with you, Ten Hag, Pochettino. Now, a lot of people don't like Pochettino. I do like him. And I think if he's backed correctly, PSG is a circus. So it's hard to fucking control that. Liverpool are a different animal. And the whole sports thing was just mental, right? But I like Pochettino, right? But I think if you look at Pochettino, Ten Hag, even Zidane, right? Or maybe one other, right? They're definitely being approached by United and making phone calls going, here, hold on. Is there any danger in me fucking getting this Liverpool job in 2 years? Is this definitely up? Is this definitely up in 2 years? What's the story? They're definitely going to ask. I just think, with all the ingredients at Manchester United, I just think it's a near on impossible job now. I genuinely do, because of the mess they've got themselves into. They're a huge financial juggernaut, right? I get that. I absolutely get that. But that's nearly the problem. They've too much money, and they throw too much money at it. Like, they should swallow their pride, and without even saying anything, should be going and looking at Liverpool and going, who are they signing? Where are they getting them from? Where are different teams pulling these players from? Do you know what I mean? And that's what we need to do. And forget what it looks like from the outside. Forget about fucking Egypt playing pianos in promotional videos because they've pretended to get them on a free. Stop it all. Just get players in that will do a job, but you need the right manager. And that's where the problem comes from, because I agree with you. They
spoke to Klopp, United, and fucking Ed Woodward told him it was Disneyland for adults, and Klopp said, this fella's a show, I'm out here. Right, hasn't a fucking clue what he's doing. And he's gone. And that, the club hasn't changed. They haven't changed since that.
They don't buy to a structure. They don't buy to. We buy players to play in our system. We buy players to play 4-3-3 because up and down the club, that's how we play. Guardiola does the same. Every club that's well run does that. That's common sense. That's not rocket science. This 4 guys in a pod will agree on that. You don't need to be a brain surgeon or a football director to know this. So if United want to play 4-3-3, you buy players to fit in a 4-3-3. It's not hard, and scouts are out there. They have contacts with every agent in the world. Money's no object. You could tell the way they wanted to go with the signing of Sancho. The Ronaldo one is the one that fucked it up for everyone, the way they're looking at it, because he just didn't fit. It made absolutely no footballing sense, and commercially, it's been as bad a decision as on the football pitch. He's way too much pull and power for what he's contributing, and it's the same mistake. They've done this again, and they don't.
Yeah, but
learn.
you said it. You said it, Kev. You said it. They never learn. They done it with Alexis Sanchez signing them, so Man City didn't get him, got burnt, end up taking a huge fucking chunk, a huge hit on him, and then they done the same with Ronaldo. They signed them because they didn't want City to get him. They didn't learn again, and they're going to get burnt.
Same with
again.
Fred. Done it with Fred as well. City were
Fred.
after Fred, and they jumped in and took him as well.
Look,
50 odd million.
Keith, I'll come to you just on the top four. City, Liverpool. I presume we all think Chelsea will be fine. Although I think if one of them comes from the pack, if Spurs put a couple of wins together, I think Chelsea might look behind them a little bit. But we put Chelsea in. Who makes the fourth spot?
It's too hard. They're all playing brutal. And a couple of weeks ago, I was thinking Spurs can do it. They've got the manager. They've got the attacking threat. Now I'm like, they don't have the minerals for a fight. That's the fucking one thing about them. They don't have the balls. Arsenal look like they're all right, but
3 games in hand on United.
Yeah, that's the key. The games in hand. If they win that game,
One of them is us, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but even Spurs, I think, have games in hand on United as well, do they?
I think Spurs
I think they have 2.
Yeah, I think Spurs have 2.
One of them is
Arsenal
tomorrow
have 3.
night.
And one of them's Spurs one is tomorrow night.
On form, I'd say Arsenal will get the other.
So Arsenal
thing, but I
currently
don't
sitting
trust
fourth.
them.
Arsenal sitting for 25 games played, 48 points. So they've 3 games in hand on United, and they're a point clear of them, right? West Ham sit on 28 games with 45 points, right? Spurs have 3 games in hand on both of those, and are on 42 points. So at the moment, Spurs are 6 points off the top 4, with the same amount of games played as Arsenal.
How many ahead are Chelsea of 4?
Chelsea are on 53. If Arsenal
5 ahead, isn't he?
If Arsenal were to win their game in hand, which is us, they'd have 51 points. It'd be 2 points off Chelsea, right? But Chelsea have only played 26. Like, the 2 games in hand on United and West Ham. They've only. I think Chelsea be fine.
Chelsea are
Chelsea
all
are
right. I think someone said
Forget
in the chat
everything I
there
said, Chelsea be fine.
they've a handy enough run in Chelsea
And they're getting players back as well
for the rest of the season. Exactly, the 2.
They've got the distraction. The Abramovich thing is a distraction for them at the moment. I think the quality they have in there, just from a defensive point of view, I think they'll grind in. They'll batten down the hatches and absolute scutter their way to third. I think they will do it. West Ham are interesting because I think they're good, they're solid, but they will drop points when you're not expecting.
I think they're tired. I think they're not out on their feet. I think.
They'll drop points.
They're on the same amount of points as Manchester United and the same amount of games.
Yeah.
They have a good chance in the Europa League.
Yeah,
and I think there'll come a point when they'll focus on that. If they can get through, if they can get through the next round into the last 8, then I think they'll prioritize that. They'll have to.
John makes a great point though. He says Arsenal's games in hand are Liverpool, Chelsea, and Tottenham.
I knew one of them was us. But listen, Keith said it there a few minutes ago. The word is trust. I wouldn't trust either of the 3 of them, or the 4 of them if you throw West Ham.
I wouldn't trust either of them. I wouldn't trust and get me smokes.
Exactly. I wouldn't trust any of them to put a run of games together, and that's why I don't think United are out of it. Even though you'd probably look at it and go, Arsenal have 3 games in hand. United aren't out of it because
Today aside, they're unbeaten in their last 8. So
but they haven't won that many of them, have they?
No, but they can be flat track bullies. They can beat the sides who are at the bottom and in or around mid table. Because you're starting to see if you look at the table 1 to 20 now, it's opened up. There's a cluster of sides there now that have nothing to play for, and you're starting to see the inconsistencies coming into performances, and surprise results are coming out like Brighton. Brighton will get a win midweek and then they'll collapse at the weekend. They've got nothing to play for, and you're going to see more and more of that as the season goes on. They're not going to get into Europe. They're safe enough. They're not going to go down. You'll have a few players looking to play for moves, but in general, they're looking for the sunbeds. It happens every season.
Okay, well, let me put you on the spot. Top four, fourth spot in that. Who are you going with, Kev?
I think Arsenal.
Okay, Keith?
Spurs.
Okay, I think Arsenal will do it. Davo?
Arsenal.
Yeah, I think with them games in hand, even if
just from seeing who they are, that's turning me off Arsenal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't think they win any of them.
I think it's home to Liverpool.
Yeah,
I think it's away to Spurs, and I'm not too sure on the Chelsea game. It's away to Chelsea as well because they were beaten by Chelsea in the second day of the season at the Emirates. But even if Arsenal were to come out with that with 4 points,
2 points,
even if they drew with Spurs and they drew with Chelsea, it doesn't get Spurs any closer to them, and it puts 2 points. Yeah, I think it'll just be Arsenal, and I think they'll probably get there by default. To be fairly honest with you, and it's a bit like last season, when wasn't it Chelsea stayed in the top four, even though they were beaten on the last day and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Teams around there seem to be just. But you hear it all the time, like nobody wants this top four. They do. They're just not fucking good enough.
Yeah,
they're just not good enough to just.
Anyway. I'd be interested to see the points, because I'm not sure if I said it on here, but I probably said it on another pod. I think the year Klopp's first year we got fourth with 76 points. I think it was 2 points a game. We needed to get forward. Arsenal were up our hole right to the very death. The day we beat Middlesbrough at Anfield to get the fourth. I think it was 76 we ended up on. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near that for fourth this year.
No,
anywhere near it.
Own comments is Arsenal for him, and Gav will have to accept Arteta as a top gaffer. No, I won't. And I'll tell you something. We'll see how good he is if he doesn't make top four and the players he loses in the summer, because I definitely think he loses 2 if not 3 big players in the summer. They'll have enough and they'll be out of there. The bottom half of the table though, Spurs play Everton tomorrow night. Burnley had got games in hand and haven't done themselves many favours. They beat Spurs in one of those games in hand, but they've been beaten by Chelsea and they haven't been great, so that advantage is kind of gone. But it's very interesting down there, Keith, isn't it? Like, Brentford have a big win yesterday. I think that does it for Norwich. Leeds are just dropping like a stone. Everton are still hovering around there. Burnley are picking up some points, but probably not enough where you go, they'll pull away. Newcastle are most definitely picking up enough points. And it looked like it might be 6 or 7 down there, but I think it's probably Norwich, Watford, Burnley. I think Leeds and Everton. I think it's the 5. I think it's 3 from that 5. And people are saying like Everton have games in hand. If they lose their next 2, it'll be fucking carnage, Keith.
Yeah. Games in hand are well and good if you're winning and you have a chance of winning these games in hand. If you're not winning, games in hand are a fucking noose around your neck because it's more games. Do you know what I mean? It creates a toxicity in the fan base, and we know what Everton fans are like. If it's not going that way. Now, I think Leeds, who are going like a stone, they may get a bit of a new manager kick out of Jesse Marsh because I thought they were decent enough yesterday. They didn't get the result.
I'm just worried about how tired they look.
I thought they were good.
Yeah, they did. They done well, and I'm wondering will they get? You know, when you make that managerial change, you're always looking for that little bump, and I think he might give them that, and I think everything could be dragged in now. Burnley are one. I think it's between Burnley and Everton. I think Watford and Norwich will go. I think it's between Burnley and Everton.
But Everton have only played 24 games, right? So if you look at it, Norwich on 27 played 17 points. Watford 27 played 19 points. Burnley have played one less than 26, 21 points, right? But Everton are sitting there on 24 games with 22 points. So you could argue if Everton were to just win one and draw one in the next 3, okay, it'll bring them to 26 points. Yeah, they'd be 5 points clear of the bottom 3.
Everton will be fine. Wishful thinking that they'll go
9
down.
9 games left. Everton's run in is tough. Owen Conway said that it is tough. Kieran B reckons Everton will stay up. Can't see them going down, but hey, they have got a hairy line.
I'd piss myself laughing now if it happened, but I can't see it. There's let's call a spade a spade. Like, they've some good players. They haven't been doing it. I know Calvert-Lewin's been injured and stuff like that. But compared to the shy Burnley and that are thrown out their 1 to 11 on the weekends, I can't see.
Well, Everton's next run of games in the league, right? Tottenham away, Wolves at home, Newcastle at home, Watford away, West Ham away, United at home, Palace at home, Liverpool away, Chelsea at home, Leicester away, Brentford at home, Arsenal away.
I don't think that's tough. That's tough. Jesus.
So
It's
anyway,
tough.
let's name a bottom three then.
I agree with Keith. The bottom two are gone, and I think Burnley will go.
Okay. So you have Watford, Norwich, Burnley. Kev, who do you think go? Because I know you think Brentford are dropping as well, and you think Leeds are just in free fall.
Yeah, I agree with Davo. I think the three that are there now are the three that'll go. That was a huge 3 points for Brentford.
It nearly gets them out, Kev, I think, doesn't it, really? It nearly...
I think if they can beat the sides around them, it'll be enough. They're on, I think someone was saying in the chat, they're on 27 points now.
I'd say 34 will be enough, won't they?
6 more points. 6 more points, 2 wins.
A win and a couple of draws, even.
Yeah, whatever. You know, they'll be okay.
And the fact they got Ivan Toney getting a hat-trick as well, that might spark him. You know, if you have a striker that can score, that can get you out of trouble.
You got Christian Eriksen in there as well, the feel-good factor. You know, you can't knock that. I'd be amazed if Everton get caught up in it, but stranger things have happened. No side is too good to go down. Leeds for the new manager bounce, and they look good. They need a win. It doesn't matter how good they look. If they're losing, you know, that rot sets in. And the vast majority of those players are on their arse physically. You know, so I think Burnley will go, but I wouldn't.
Norwich, Burnley, Watford for you.
Yeah.
Okay, Keith.
Norwich gone, Watford gone, Everton gone. I'm looking at the fixtures and I don't know where they're going to get the wins. Games in hand are no use when you're down there.
Yeah.
There's not many in that I can see them winning.
Tomorrow's tough as well.
Every one of them games, like, you're looking at teams that might look easy, but it's away or whatever, or you have something to play for. Like, it's really fucking hard. And I thought Burnley were gone. I had them wrote off. Newcastle came in and took Chris Wood off them, and I thought strategic. Take the goals away. I thought he bought a better striker than Will Weghorst, to be honest. I think he looks better than Chris Wood. And anyway, if he can get scored, they might get out of it. But I just think Everton, I don't know where their signings have been absolute shy. Dele Alli, he could be the one that goes in and gives them a spark. I don't know. Donny van de Beek looked good for a couple of games. He's looking very Everton now. I just don't see them getting many points. And I said about the Chelsea distraction with Abramovich, they have a huge fucking thing now with Usmanov.
Yeah.
You know, Bramley-Moore, Doc is looking in doubt, things like that.
Somebody did say earlier that Everton could have a 300 million shortfall in money over the next couple of years because of Usmanov if things go badly wrong.
Yeah.
And already delays set for the stadium. So
toxicity, it's the atmosphere becomes absolutely unbearable, and that's what can kill a team. You know, it's not necessarily you can have good players on the pitch. If they're not getting results, that's bad enough. But if the crowd are dreading it, that drags you down. I think they could be in serious trouble.
If they get relegated, I think they'll do a Sunderland. If they get relegated, I think they'll do a Sunderland. Financially, if they get relegated, it will cripple them. Usmanov aside, it will absolutely be a death knell for that club.
They're the highest percent wages to turnover in the league.
Yeah, that's why they have
high 80s, 87, 88%.
And they have to balance out what they buy and what they sell. You know, they can't just go out and spend money, and this Usmanov stuff won't help because he is an investor that puts money up every year for players and stuff like that. But I don't think they go down. I think Watford go down, I think Norwich go down, and I think Leeds go down.
Leeds?
Yeah, I think so.
Possible.
I think the amount of games Leeds have played and the position they sit in, I think they are so fucking drilled in the way they play under Bielsa. I think I don't really rate your man anyway, but I think it's very hard for him to come in, change it to the point where they start getting results and don't look like they're fucking a dog with two Mickeys running around the place most of the time, right? And the time frame he has to do it. They've 10 games left. Everton have 14 games left. Do you know what I mean? Everton have 14 games left. Leeds have 10, and their Leeds are only a couple of points ahead of Everton. There's no way listen, Everton aren't good, right? And they're all over the bleeding shop with this stadium, with the Usmanov stuff, Lampard in as manager, the finances, everything. But sorry, Leeds have 11 games left, but they're 1 point ahead. There's no way in my mind that if Leeds have 11 games left and Everton have 14, and Leeds start with a 1 point lead, that Everton don't take more points than Leeds come the end of the season.
Yeah, well, the reason I think Burnley, Gav, is that they had a little bounce there a few games ago, and they win 3 and 4. They got 3 wins.
If Burnley get a win,
they had that little bounce,
yeah,
and they're not out of the bottom 3. They're still in the bottom 3. So they have to. I don't know how many. I think they're on 4 wins now, and they were on 1. So they have to pick up 3 wins probably in the last 4, 5, 6 games. They're going to need to do that again in the latter end of the season. Now, listen, they could, because as Kev said, things go a bit haywire down there. You're nearly better off playing mid-table teams to have the flip-flops on than the relegation teams. But I just think Burnley have had that bounce, had a bit of a bounce, and they're still not out of the bottom 3. So
I'll
I'm
ask you
just
this
looking
then.
at them going.
I'll ask you this then, Davo.
Yeah.
If Burnley take a point in their game in hand that they have over Leeds, they'd be sitting 1 point behind Leeds.
Yeah.
Right? With 11 to go. Do you think Leeds take more points than Burnley? Burnley know where they're. Burnley know this fucking track. They've won on this course and distance. You know what I mean?
I think Leeds do take more points. Yeah.
Do you?
I genuinely do. I thought they looked decent yesterday. Again, look, I just watched Match of the Day. I thought they actually probably had a show. They probably deserved to win the game yesterday against Leicester, but they definitely deserved a point.
They battered them second half.
They didn't get it.
They
didn't get it. So
they need to get over
kind of similar enough to Brentford. I think 1 win can be huge, and I think if Leeds can get that win on the board, like we said with Kev, we're talking about there with Brentford. I think Brentford, that win nearly puts them safe. There's about 10 games left. They'll get a win and a couple of draws, and that'll get them up to like 32, 33 points. That'll be fine. So I think a win is huge, and I think if Leeds can kind of scrape. Listen, I don't know Leeds' fixtures. I don't know how they're playing next night, what they're running is like, but I'd fancy them to start picking up a few points. Yeah.
I asked Ronan Murphy on Twitter. He done a lot of Bundesliga stuff. What Jesse Marsh's style will be like compared to Bielsa. I think you might have said it, Davo, on the forum or one of the shows, Winners and Losers, maybe. Do they have to nearly deprogram from playing under Bielsa to a new manager? And he was sort of saying that Marsh will not, similar to Bielsa, he is a high pressing manager. He does play that high intensity, high press football. And he thought that the players that Leeds have there and the situation, he thought Marsh would be perfect to keep them up. So I just think they were sensible in that appointment, but they have to get wins. You can win a PR, great PR by bringing them in. They have to get points on the board. But I just think with Bamford coming back, if they get Phillips back, it's big players for them that can get them over the line. And I think whoever's big players perform, as we said, Ivan Toney's got a hat-trick, that could be enough to keep Brentford. Anyone that can get their big players forward, and that's where I don't see Everton. I don't know who the big players are there. I don't know where the hero
do they have the stomach for that? That's the thing with Everton. It's the same can be said at Lampard. It's a different kettle of fish managing, trying to get promoted in the Championship or trying to get into Europe or do something in Europe.
That's the biggest thing with Everton for me. I think if they lose their next 2, I think panic sets in. And the ingredients there of panic, Lampard trying to impress, fans going fucking apeshit, Usmanov stuff going on, inside Goodison will be toxic, and God only knows. Owen Burke says that he was reading earlier that 300 million hole in their pockets because of Usmanov. Spiraling steel and concrete cost means cutbacks to the stadium. Already cancelled the planned multi-storey car park with regards to that stadium. So we've kind of picked who we think will go down. We'll have to
listen. Like we said earlier, though, about the top 4, I wouldn't be overly surprised. Well, probably slightly surprised, but I wouldn't be overly surprised if Everton rocked up and beat Spurs tomorrow night. So,
Yeah.
like, do you know what I mean? Like,
anything can happen.
Just Spurs aren't good.
Yeah,
neither are Everton.
Yeah, anything could happen. Just quickly, lads, you may be on shows between now and then, but confident for Inter Milan during the week, Kev?
Yeah. Look, I mean, Inter had a good win at the weekend, but it was a side that were last in Serie A. They beat 5-0. But yeah, look, 2-0 up, second half. It'll take an excellent side and a really bad night for us to get pegged back from a 2-goal lead. But yeah, no, I'm confident enough.
Okay. Keith, confident enough?
Yeah. I mean, Inter have good players, but I waxed lyrical about their front two before the first game and just saw that they both shit their jocks when they were up against Van Dijk. So if they're not going to do it and they're missing Barella again, you know, their midfield done okay against ours, very good in the San Siro, for being honest. I just don't see them. I think Anfield, European night, the crowd gets behind us, and I think we beat them comfortably on the night, and one of them nearly a cricket score job over the tie. You know, you look back at it and go, Jesus, Liverpool 7-0 winners against Inter Milan. Do you know what I mean? I think an early goal, and I always think we're going to score loads of goals, but I just think European nights, Inter didn't show enough for me. The attacking threat, when I'm a huge Lautaro Martinez fan. When he runs through on Virgil van Dijk, looks at it and says, no, I'm all right, I'm going to go over here and wait. That was it. Do you know what I mean? They have no hope now. Their goal scorers are afraid of their defenders. Davo said it about the Italian media about Van Dijk. Edin Dzeko goes through, Van Dijk comes through, swats him away, and you see the look on his face like, oh, for fuck's sake. Their forwards are afraid of their defenders, and I don't think they have enough to overturn that deficit.
Chris Braxton's Inter 5-0 win last night, Friday night I think, wasn't it? Was the first time they scored a goal since we beat them 2-0, and he reckons it'll be 3-0 to Liverpool during the week. Davo, confident enough? Will you watch the game as normal, or will you get it behind the sofa? What will you do?
First goal will be vital there for me, Gav. If Inter get
just
it,
sitting on top of the sofa, and if Inter score, just slope down the back of it.
No, listen, I am confident. I'm just a little bit wary. All the talk seems to be who we getting in the quarters and whatnot, that kind of stuff. I don't really like that. Wait till you get the job done and then worry about it, because they're a decent side. Inter are a decent side. I think, is Barella back, Keith, for this one?
No, he's suspended.
Was he still? For the he's probably he's definitely one of our better players. But listen, I think the intensity of the league, as it's kind of showed in the 3 games we've played against like the 2 Milan teams, like I watch it a little bit Serie A, and it's like they play kind of one paced and all that. And I think obviously the Milan game we made it hard for ourselves, but on another night we'd have blown them away and been 4-0 up after 20 minutes, and they wouldn't have known what hit them. We were able to come back, get the win. Obviously the reserves went over there, kind of uncomfortable enough. We know Milan had injuries that night as well. And then, listen, both sides rode a look kind of first half in the Inter game, and then we came away with a 2-0 win. So I'm not sure Italian teams can live with our kind of intensity. So I would be expecting us to go through. But just a little bit wary that all the talk is when we're in the quarters, get the job done, and then we'll fucking worry about that.
Yeah, 100%. I'm confident enough over. I think with a 2-0 lead, I think it'll take something extraordinary for anybody to come to Anfield and overturn us on a 2-0 lead, because very few stop us from scoring. And if we score one,
the PSG and and Real Madrid game is interesting. That's still alive.
Yeah, 1-0.
PSG lost at the weekend, and it wasn't as if they were battering. I think it was Nice they played and got unlucky. They were poor, and Nice made them look poor. Nice are decent, but Madrid at home only trailing by 1. That'd be a good game to watch. I think that's on Wednesday night.
Yeah,
that'll be good.
It'll be interesting if PSG do go through, because I know, Davo, you're dead right. We won't look ahead to the quarterfinals. But are you staying in Paris or outside Paris for the final? just wondering. They'll play PSG in their own backyard.
The WhatsApp group is like fucking Judah Chalmers. Wish you were here that day. All the flights getting booked. Everyone booking their flight to Paris.
Yeah, and if you're looking for property, sure, Dion Dublin's in the group as well.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm fairly confident that I think it'll take something extraordinary for Inter to come there on Tuesday night and score 3 without reply. So what I'm looking for, I'm actually looking for Liverpool to be 2-0 up at half time and make some changes. You have got the 5 subs. It is Tuesday night, and then we play early Saturday against Brighton, don't we? So I'd like to see them not a rest, because I think we are big on rhythm, but just comfortable. If it's a comfortable win, it sets us up for Brighton at the weekend. I'm not too sure how we got on with the betmate on the Liverpool game.
Well, Chris didn't message me, so I don't know.
If Chris will let us know in the next few minutes.
Didn't win.
But listen, betmate is some crack, and I've had enough of all you pricks having a go. I think I'll just take over for the next game. But if you're interested in playing it, it's really good. You're playing against other people. You're not playing against betmate. It's not odds based. It's fantasy football, but there's no budgets. You're just picking players. You're sticking them in your team. You're sticking them on your bench, and you're having a go of it. The link is in the description. And as I said, it's good fun. You can get on there. You can register. You can play in a free pot, which is worth real money, just so you can see how it works and how you get on. And if you like it, you can then deposit money and play along with the pots. Liverpool based, there's Premier League, there's all sorts of stuff going on. But as I said, or as I always say, if you do decide to play or deposit any money, do so responsibly. Okay, with regards to Féileacáin, that's our charity partner for the next, until we get to 10 grand. And if that's by the 10th of June, great. If it's not, we just keep going and keep annoying people till we get there. I think we've only a couple of slots left at €100 each to sponsor on the golf day. We nearly have all the money in for that, which is fantastic. There's 2 slots left, I think. But listen, don't worry about that if you can't. If you know any person, individual person, or company that would like to sponsor it, you can get in contact with us, lfcdaytrippers@gmail.com, which is cool. We came 9th in the betmate thing. We are 2 points off the money. Jesus. But with Féileacáin, if you can't sponsor that, you can donate. And if you can't donate, you can share. We've got a couple of donations over the last week, but we really want to see these starting to come in now. $5 here, $5 there, whatever it might be. We got 2 lovely €50 ones in the last couple of days. But please, if you can donate, do so. If you can't, please share it amongst anybody you know. And it doesn't matter who it is, who they support. This is a brilliant, brilliant charity that we're trying to help, and we're trying to get to 10k before the 10th of June. We understand there's loads of other stuff going on in the world, which is understandable, and people are contributing towards. But if you can find time to either donate or share to Féileacáin, we would be really, really, really grateful. This week, winners and losers tomorrow night. I hope to have the COP update back daily at 2 p.m. and Tuesday's one will be a little bit of a preview around Inter Milan. We will definitely do a full-time Reds after Inter Milan. We'll do a midweek fix on Wednesday with a review, and I look forward to Brighton. We'll have a night off on Thursday, I reckon, and then on Friday night, Sports Unplugged will be back, and we'll be back after the Brighton game with full-time Reds. And this show, this time next Sunday. Kev, anything else before we go? Oh, by the way, sorry, 400 and odd watching, 171 likes. The Reclaimer's going to be fuming, just to let you know. Hit the like button on the way out. Kev, sorry, anything else before we go?
Nah, nothing, mate. All good. Players' Championship next weekend. Looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Should be interesting.
Joe had another winner tonight, Gav.
Did he?
Scheffler won, yeah.
Yeah, Joe's on fire.
Yeah.
Check out Joe.
Golf tips with Joe.
At Joe Walsh 1981, I think he is on Twitter. Check it out. Get in there, get his tips, because from what we hear, it will be a subscription service very, very soon.
I'm surprised it's not already. I cannot believe it.
I've been promised a free subscription for life because I am a very loyal supporter of Joe and his tips, and he knows this. But if you don't get in quick, you may end up having to be subscribed for these tips. And let's be honest, wheelbarrow job most weeks with Joe. Davo, anything else before we go?
No, all good. Looking forward to this week. Hopefully get that second foot into the quarterfinals. And just Chris is talking about the LFC women there, so they're getting closer to getting promoted, which is great as well. So
yeah,
no, all good other than that, Gav.
Good stuff. Liverpool women won all today to the third place team. I think the name goes out of my head now.
London Lionesses or something.
Yeah, gap 7 points clear with 6 games to go, getting closer to what they need to do. Joe Wheelbarrow Walsh's own book, absolutely. Keith, anything else before we go?
Now, shout out to Daytripper Ray Brady. If anyone hasn't seen the masterpiece that he created around the four horsemen or the horsemen.
Oh, the wrestlers.
The wrestlers.
Oh my God.
It's one of the best Photoshop jobs you'll ever see. It's mad. I got hair. It's the only picture of me with hair that I'm glad I'm a bald on it.
Yeah.
Shawnee looks like some sort of stripper version of Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
And Davo, I think you've been called Roman Abramovich and all in your one. Like, it's just absolutely absurd piece
And
of
I'm just
work.
smoking.
You're just doing the usual, Gav. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're just sitting there taking charge of things with a smoke. But if anyone, you know, if you can find a better Photoshopper than Ray Brady,
You're doing well.
I think you'll be doing well.
He went down memory lane as well, didn't he, with some Brenzy tweets today?
Yeah, saw that.
Rest in peace, Brenzy. But Andy was telling us about an even better one where everyone knows the story about Brenzy and the M&M's tweet about Gillan Ballaghay and the M&M tweets, but that was unreal. There was a couple today from Brenzy that he showed, but Andy was telling the story earlier about how he tweeted B&Q and said his carbon monoxide alarm wasn't working, and he said no problem, bring it back to the shop, just bring your receipt. He said I did, I brought it back, this is the second one, and they were like, oh, okay, well, would you not bring it back? Really sorry for the inconvenience. And he went, all right, well, I'm feeling a bit sleepy at the minute, but I'll definitely bring it back when I get a chance. And B&Q are tweeting him back. Brenzy, yeah, the best man ever on Twitter. Let's be honest about it. But that is it. That has been the Fatback for Sunday night. Thanks a million for joining us. Thanks for watching. We've taken up an hour and a half of your time. Enjoy the last 33 minutes of your Sunday. Enjoy the rest of the week. Hopefully the Reds do the business. And as I said, loads of content coming throughout the week. That's it. Over now.